coming to you live from Plug It Studios in beautiful Largo, Florida. We are keeping you plugged in with episode 242 of F5 Live. DJing.
This week, Samsung is breathing new life into the stylus. Nintendo's reviving the 3DS with games. And Netflix isn't as dead as people thought. Say, Nick.
I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to point out the fact that I EQ'd John 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 1 minute before the show where he was screaming into the microphone. I get him all set, and he goes, this week, we have interesting things. Damn it, John.
I thought that was pretty loud, actually.
That was noticeably lower, right? Okay,
Really?
just making sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I got this. This week.
After I upped his volume. Awesome.
Nice.
Yep.
Nick.
You did it to yourself.
He said Nick. Keep going.
You did. Oh, so how dead do you how dead do you think Netflix was?
About as dead as you might be after your urinary tract infection that you have. So let's enjoy that.
Oh, TMI.
Oh, it's a kidney infection. I'm sorry.
Rumors are fun.
Thank you. Yes, it's a kidney.
Word on the street
it's a
is.
kidney infection.
It's not what I heard.
I can feel him burning you with his with his anger.
Nah, it's the fever.
Oh,
It is.
Let me get away from him.
Yeah, and I don't really care to do the next part, so
Pretty dead.
Scott can do it.
Pretty dead,
Nope,
John.
you had your shot. You blew it, kid.
The good news is it doesn't smell like death in here.
No, because, yeah, it doesn't. Because there's a lot of new tech.
Indeed.
You must be talking about that new tech smell, just
I
by
am.
proxy. Because I think this show.
This show?
This show right here.
This one here?
This one right here is part of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. I'm Nick.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
I'm Alante.
And we're here.
We are.
Carl is in the building.
Whoop! Whoop, whoop.
Look what I incited
Spring
there.
break.
One person.
It's not quite the, not quite the audience you're used to.
No, it's different. It's when I do this, I get a lot of noise, and it doesn't happen here.
No, it doesn't.
But we are here.
We are. I see us.
And wherever you
I
are
don't.
and however you're accessing our show, whether it be Facebook, iTunes, Zune, F5Live.tv, or the plethora of different streams that we are available from, thanks for making us part of your day. But of course, there is one place we want you to be, and that's chatting with us live in the studio every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, by going to F5Live.tv/join us. Just like that.
I decided to just do it with my neck.
I saw. It's good. It gets the point across. And, of course, stay tuned for our live listeners' exclusive, the epic award-winning, spine-chilling, bone-tingling, ear-echoing post-plug. I don't know. For 10 minutes after the show, we chat with you off the record. And it's good. What's up, guys?
Sky.
You know, every week you give that answer, and every week it's true.
I
It's
know.
the craziest thing.
That's why I keep saying it.
Because you're never wrong.
Right. Guaranteed to
No,
be
yeah.
right that way.
No.
You're
Notice-
never wrong.
Notice how he never says our ratings.
What, PG ratings instead?
Well, I guess when you're rated A, you can only be rated AAA to be better.
And that costs you $115 a year.
But you can take it with you wherever you go.
Oh, fair enough.
Sigh.
We got A from Pilch on the show tonight, the online editorial director for Laptop Magazine. Pick that name up, put it in my
Assuming
pocket.
he wants to be on after this.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
That's a risk I'm
Assuming
willing
he
to take.
survives the intro to his segment. That's always kind of a given.
A given?
Yes.
He's gonna take his intro
Theoretical.
song and run.
We haven't really talked about this a lot after our comeback from CES. F5Live.tv. New name, if you'll notice. Yeah,
Same
the
great
hat you wear.
taste.
Same great
CES.
taste, half the
The
calories.
name changed? What? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh.
The plug hits became F5.
When?
And the radio dropped. Because we do more than radio.
Did the logo change too?
The radio drop?
Yeah, I think you had something to do with that.
What?
Not
Man,
Although I could be mistaken.
Who had something that? Man, you guys keep changing on me. I don't like it.
All right, well, I'm going to ignore him
All right.
and talk to you guys because I feel more secure.
Okay.
Talk to me,
With
John.
yourself?
I'll kill you.
He's
that's
not
not helping.
feeling terribly secure because of the UTI, which
Yeah,
is usually
yeah.
a woman's problem.
I understand.
Thank you, Carla.
Well, when you try new things, it's just a risk you take. Really?
Failed docking.
Thank you,
it sounds.
Carla.
So, are you dying or what's going on here? Normally on Sundays, we're told people are dying. I don't know. Is it your turn?
I can't tell if she's been drinking or what tonight.
I can't either.
I gotta
She's-
mic her up. Get this thing going. Come on.
It's like some jackals laughing.
Are you dying? Will you be
Background.
living? Did Carla have anything to do with this one?
You know,
God.
I'm gonna blame it on
I'm
her.
gonna mute this for a second and let this keep running. This is great. I
Because
feel
the last time you had a near-death experience,
Carla was the culprit.
It was because of her. Yes.
Yes.
Wait, I don't have a mic to defend.
No, you don't
She
have a mic to
doesn't have
defend
mic
yourself.
To defend herself.
That
it's
makes it fun.
okay.
It is okay.
Most of our listeners by this point know the whole story, actually.
And if you don't, we'll share it with you in the post blog
Post blog.
or post blog.
You.
New name. It's now called the post blog.
Post blog.
We want to give a quick shout out before you jump into the story to everyone with the CES team. Again, our content's going up all week long into next week, probably into the week after that. Who knows?
All over the internet.
Yeah.
285 some odd videos and interviews we did on the floor, not counting the live content that will also be posted,
Right.
available on f5live.tv or, of course, at plughitslive.com/the upstream. We're available in both places. Of course, check out the great content on tpn.tv. Tons of shows on there. If you want to become a member of the Tech Podcast Network, you have to come here because it's tech. Oh, wait, no. Contact CEO at rawvoice.com
There you go.
and
That's better.
get some information.
Or go to techpodcasts.com.
And click sign up.
Indeed.
So, yeah, I want
That's
to
how we did it.
got to mention that.
You got in there kind of accidentally.
So, John's dying.
Yes.
Carla's drunk off her butt.
No, I'm not.
Oh, she's actually on it.
Slander.
That doesn't change the fact that she's drunk.
It's all that tequila. Gotta love that tequila.
What else
So-
is going on?
So, what exactly is wrong with you?
These are things
Well,
we need to discuss.
Like physically or mentally or
Yes.
psychologically.
We
Mentally, we know.
All
Yeah,
the
we know
above.
mentally.
All
Our,
the
our
above.
normal listeners have got that pegged at this point.
Oh, Wednesday or Thursday, I had noticed that my lower back had been hurting. I wasn't quite sure what it was for a couple days. So eventually I went into the doctor because it just wasn't going away. And
You're a terrible person.
we did a bunch of like...
Nick is laughing at you.
I know.
That's why I'm like, you are a terrible person.
He gets off on my pain.
Usually there's a fun story behind all of this.
Not this time.
Oh, that sucks.
You didn't get your period this time?
No.
Wow.
Continue.
No, I haven't had that for years.
None of the womanly
So I
times.
went in.
It's the
on the
poor
pill.
diet.
There's not really much to say. I went in. I had a bunch of tests done. I almost passed out when they took my blood because I hadn't eaten all day.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, so that'll do it. And, turns out I had a kidney infection and something else going on, which kind of makes sense because I could move any way I wanted, and it didn't hurt. So it wasn't like
Straight up.
It wasn't like a skeletal or muscle thing.
To
Okay.
Canada.
And like I had this moderate burning sensation in my lower back that just wouldn't go away.
That's no good.
Did it hurt when
Yeah.
you peed?
No,
What?
surprisingly, it didn't.
No.
Although he said that was a common side effect, but
Was
so
somebody holding a match
so
at
I'm
your
on,
lower
like-
back.
I'm on like Motrin and a muscle relaxer and a really powerful
Antipsychotic.
antipsychotic. There you go. I like that better.
You should have
and,
taken
uh,
Robitussin.
it
That would
actually-
have cured you of everything.
Like the first 2 days I took it, it just knocked me out. I literally slept like all day.
So,
So it's getting better, but I still have about 6 days left on the medicine.
So what
You're
I'm
allowed-
understanding
You're able to sit up.
is that we shouldn't give you bourbon tonight, and that the
Because of the antipsychotics.
the
what
fact
about
that
bourbon?
they
Chip?
have a counteracting effect.
yes, and the fact that while peeing, having it burn while you pee is a side effect of the kidney infection, it's not the reason for you. It's a different reason. that your
It was
burns.
the burning when his back.
Oh, got it. I'm with it. I'm just trying to put this all together.
So it was going out the wrong way.
Understood.
It went in reverse. Backwards.
Quality radio.
You're
God.
All right, and that's 10 minutes. So
Yes.
I think that means
I
we need to
think
mention that
Skeletor just made fun of me.
because of this quality radio show that we do here, we'll be off next week.
indeed. Well, we're off every week, but we won't be on the air next week.
Yes.
Why don't we do something different and be a medical podcast tonight? We could just discuss all my ailments.
in Skeletor voice.
It's a shame that that we don't have access to Jamie, because that would certainly have made it easier.
Yeah.
Indeed.
He's the head of the Raw Voice Medical Network.
Right.
So,
Right.
He would have been able to diagnose him and everything.
it's like TPN for him.
Backwards.
He's got WebMD in his mind.
So yeah. On that note, I believe then it is time to start the.
That was smart,
I
Nick.
believe.
Very, very smart.
Hang on, no, you can't tab. Try again. I love Ustream. Ustream is the bane of our existence here, but it's a necessary evil, I suppose. All right, so it's apparently we didn't have audio for a second there, but we're good. We're back up and running.
We're fine.
That's fantastic.
No
Yay.
big deal.
Now it came on, but
We are
staticky. All right. I don't know what's going on here. Hang on, let me adjust some audio things here. That should be a little better. Is that better for everybody? It's Ustream's going nuts tonight, apparently.
Better?
Better
Oh.
bear.
So you missed the opening.
It's
You'll
okay.
have to go listen to the final version available at f5live.tv,
Indeed.
and we'll have to post that video up.
Shortly. Yes. Yes,
All right.
indeed.
So until then, and Avram Pilch again coming on in just a couple of minutes. But first, we got to get some tech news done because we haven't done that for what seems to be 5 months. So let's go ahead and do that now.
We definitely haven't done it all year.
Facts.
True enough.
Hey, this week's news from the tubes on F5 Live. Ha! See, I don't mess these things up. Proudly powered by RiffTrax, John.
I've got good news for all you movie lovers out
Doubt
there.
it.
RiffTrax is web-based, which means that when you go to use it, you can not wear pants. Something that you can't do at the movie theaters.
Ooh.
Look at that.
I like that.
Well, you can. It just usually ends up getting you arrested.
If you get caught.
Continue.
Oh, okay. Something else that you can do is actually see a movie that was otherwise not watchable or funny, and they will make it so. Don't forget that you can stream live from Netflix. They've got Thor going on right now. Captain America, the first Avenger, now available on Blu-ray. Only $17.95 a piece. How about that? And you can get this all
Which
in your
ones,
web browser.
John?
I don't know because you didn't click on it fast enough.
Why'd you say it?
Because you were slow.
I clicked on it last time. You didn't read it.
Well, I'm not reading it now.
All right.
What
You-
do
would
we
you like
do
to
now?
read them since I can't see them?
Oh, well, you didn't say that. Why don't you have it on your tablet that's in front of you?
That would make too much sense.
And how do we get there, people?
John?
Go to f5live.tv and click on the link.
In the center.
Are you telling me that if you went to that website right now on your tablet, you would be able to click on this link and see these things?
You would.
What a concept.
Correct.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Alante.
Oh, it's going to be fun tonight.
Yepers.
Indeed.
I have good news for you. I'm starting the show this time.
Oh.
Woo!
Is that good news?
It means John's not.
Oh, that's very good news then.
First time in a while.
Apparently, by the way, I sound great. John doesn't sound at all. Let me...
He has been complaining about that in his own head. So
I sound so terrible?
It looks good there on the post stream, so I don't know what's going on here. Neither does Scott. You don't sound good either. I just want to point this out.
that makes me sad.
All of you suck, and I sound great. That's what I'm hearing here. You know, at least for right now, we're gonna switch it to the cam
To the camera and
until Avram gets on. Then we got to figure that out. So
All right.
nothing's working.
So
We need
you're
to
gonna want
mute-
to turn that volume up there, champ.
yeah.
There we go. All right. So this is gonna be an interesting show tonight.
Indeed.
Welcome back to the studio.
None
Hi.
of the inputs are working. I don't know what's happening.
Anyway, this week Google introduced their new Search Plus Your World, which brings the social aspect into search. Kind of.
That doesn't sound very pleasant.
In theory, it seems like it could be a positive. Maybe.
Yeah.
You've got the ability to, if Nick says this is a good link or a good article or something like that, yeah, sure, maybe that's something I want to come up earlier on in the search results. However,
Or just check your feed.
well, yeah, there's that. How many people on your, let's say, Facebook, do you actually care what they have to say?
Like 5%.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, that number is obviously going to be a little lower than the average because we've got, fans of the show and things like that. Going the other way, however, they might be more interested in the things that we have said are good.
Yes.
Maybe, maybe not. But then, you've got all kinds of people you don't care about.
Yes.
What does Adam Sandler have to say? Don't care.
Don't care. However,
I think he would say something like, "Ooh-wee."
Why do you care what most celebrities have to say
Any
about
celebrities
anything?
have to say, really. Unless you actually know them.
some comedians are funny in their
Then
random
it's not
posts.
really what they've said. It's just the fact that they're talking and they might have something interesting that might be relevant, but not all the time.
Right.
It's not guaranteed.
Bono says things with a fun accent,
Well, there's that.
Oh,
So
jeez.
that's good.
but he doesn't say them on Facebook.
True. So, kind of maybe the theory seems like it could pan out, but no, not at all. Not the way it's working. First of all, it only takes into account Google+. Who cares? Who is actually using Google+?
Haven't posted in 2 months.
Exactly. The only things that I have posted have been CES related.
Yeah.
So that's no good. Anyway, so it's only coming from Google+.
Right.
And as Nick and I have been experiencing this week, the results that are coming back are more annoying than they are anything else.
Yeah, they're useless. You do a quick search, and for us, we're cross-posting these videos for CES.
Right.
What that means is the 6 different shows that came together for this tech podcast network venture at CES are all posting each other's articles to give some love to everybody because
Exactly.
we all worked our butts off. We couldn't cover everything by ourselves. So we cross-post each other's content. That way everyone gets some love. You do a search for one of the company's logos, specifically type in the name of the company and logo, and you get a picture of the wonderful Jamie Davis, who is the head of the ProMed Network, which I have no issue with. I love seeing the guy, but not when I'm searching for a logo. And then you also see 2 pictures in the same row of Todd Cochran, CEO of Raw Voice. Picked that name and put it in my pocket. Now, this is all well and good if I wasn't searching specifically for the, logo, because I
Right.
typed in LOGO, which I guess in Romulan or in Google speak means not logo.
It means screenshot from video.
It means people affiliated.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that you mention that, all of this makes sense, and I've now bought into the Google plan.
Now you just got to figure out what other words mean.
It's a whole game. You didn't know.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. You
Type
got to
in-
learn the Google language.
Type in
And-
flower and have fun with it.
It almost seems like it would be semi-useful if the search results were only affected by, like, a certain friend circle that you had on Google+.
Right.
Something like that would probably make the targeting a lot more efficient, rather than mixing it in with the 95% that you don't want to hear.
Exactly. Well, it turns out that we're not the only ones that are frustrated by this. Several of the large tech media organizations, including Gizmodo, have said this week that you can pretty much put Google away. Bing is the new search king. This has made Google entirely useless.
It really has.
It has. I reverted to Bing to continue with the example of looking for company logos. I reverted to Bing image search several times over the last couple days because Google was giving me nothing, absolutely nothing, except photos of our team members
Yeah.
in other interviews.
And you know what sucks about the entire process is the fact that
and the name of the person whose fault it is
if
that
you
it's there.
if you click on the unfriend results,
Yes, there's a little globe in the top right corner. You can click on that to get rid of the social.
and you don't, it still exists
The results almost don't change,
at all.
which is frustrating.
And I'm always a big proponent of Microsoft and Bing, but I never have been of Bing because it was never a solidified
For Bing search.
search engine. It was great for travel. That's how we got our tickets to
Oh, and Bing Maps?
Works like a champ.
Oh, hundreds of times better than Google Maps.
So the search just always missed, but ever since they implemented search into Xbox, they've stepped their game up a little bit. So it seems interesting that while one is succeeding, the other is starting to go on the down on the decline, which we've called for about a year now.
We knew that Google's time at the top was limited. You know, they don't do anything well.
Yeah.
The thing that they claim in their company vision, it's not their vision statement, it's their mission statement. Nope, it's not their mission, it's their vision statement. Their mission statement is do no evil.
Lies
You
and slander.
are
Which
evil.
I have to assume is in quotation marks.
Which is also really vague.
Yeah.
It's
in
in,
their-
the sarcasm quote.
In their
quotation mark.
vision
Massive.
statement,
Yeah.
they say do one thing well, do one thing and do it well. What we do is search. So as that becomes not at all reality,
Now what are you, Google?
yes, exactly.
A piece of crap.
Yeah, they don't
So-
do DNS or like anything else.
They built their search empire, and we've talked about this before, just so they could build their empire, their full empire. And they realized they've done that when they started with all these beta projects. They're like, wow, we can actually use our search platform to enhance our products and promote them in a better light, which, like we were talking about before the show,
Yeah.
when you own the market, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's antitrust. You end up
Oh,
in
is
court.
that why they're in court?
Yeah.
What a concept.
So far, the investigations have cost them over $500 million.
Now, to be
Good
fair,
time to own stock.
Nice.
Again, we need to clarify, though, to be fair here, like our website, if we want to have a project or we want to have a certain company that we really like, we can give them benefit over another company in that realm.
Absolutely.
But we don't own the market in tech news.
Right. We're not going to actually make an impact on the world and the way it works
Even though we want to.
based on our current business decisions. Google does.
Yeah.
What's the point of going for the number one spot when the number one spot will be replaced by Kim Kardashian's Twitter status?
Exactly.
Or, I'm sorry, Google Plus status.
Yeah.
I
It's
apologize.
not going to be Twitter because Google doesn't own them yet.
Foreshadowing.
So, yeah.
What do you guys think?
Welcome to the new Google.
Yeah, we want to know what everyone thinks. Send us a line. Our respective names. That's the fun part.
You can send us an email
At
too.
plughits.com. Yeah.
I would prefer that.
I like lions.
I don't know. You can sell that for a lot more.
It's true.
It's
But then they're just feeding us lines.
a cocaine joke.
We want to know what you think, so go to f5live.tv or plughitslive.com/theupstream. Put it in the comments. Chat with us in the studio. There's a bunch of ways. We want to know what you think. Are you going to still be using Google? Google that will no longer be a do it for search. It'll be do it for social. And we've talked about this before. The social media concept is still not been figured out.
It's nebulous.
And this is not going to make it any better at all.
No.
So that'll be interesting.
Indeed.
Moving on, I suppose. Oh, I don't know what just
Whoa.
happened there.
All
That's
right.
what happens when you don't hit the pause button. Welcome back to the studio.
Good thing I don't have my headphones in.
Yeah.
I figured if they can't hear what's in my headphones, why should I?
That's funny.
All right. Moving on. This nifty gifty section of F5 Live. Hey, it is nifty.
It's nifty gifty.
What is happening? Probably powered by the Microsoft Store. Alante,
Yo.
if these people that we're talking to don't have an Xbox, where have they
Shame
been?
on them. Sorry.
All I heard was, where have they? Shame on them. That's what I heard.
Where have they been?
They've been under a rock, man.
Speaking of Microsoft, on a small aside, Sean from our chat room says, "Bing it, baby," will be the new search phrase, coined phrase.
Nice.
Just bing it, baby.
I like it.
So, with that said, now's the time for family fun. Binging all over the place. Connect for Xbox 360 takes family game night to the next level. So if you don't know by now, the Microsoft Store is here to help. Here to make shopping easy with expert picks and customer support and free shipping on absolutely everything. No catch, no code, no minimum. For students, small businesses, and developers.
Developers?
Developers.
The developers.
Go to the Microsoft Store by going to f5live.tv, clicking the link.
In the center.
Oh, that was good.
The best store of stores.
Besides our store.
We don't have one. That's the best part.
We'll have
Besides
one.
The store.
The store.
Awkward segue. Samsung, John.
Oh, yeah. Samsung did something a little bit off kilter at CES this year. We can't seem to get away from CES yet, so
We'll
I
never
felt it
get
was
away.
only
We were
appropriate
trying to
talk
so
about
much.
one last CES topic on the show.
Okay.
Intentionally. I'm sure next week it'll all be CES 2. I don't know.
CES 2? Like
CES
summer
2.
CES?
CES 3.
It's like limited to, but it's CES 2.
I don't think they're called that anymore.
It's
CES
like-
squared.
It's like the aftermath of CES. CES 2.
God, they need to do that. CES 2.
2.
It's also CES.
It's
It will also be called Justice in a few years.
Nice.
It's the
So-
Consumer Electronics Saloon.
Oh, I like that. That's nifty. Copyright Pluggets Corporation, 2012.
Bosh,
And I
Shapiro.
can't itch the spot on my head because it's covered by the headphones.
Oh. You know, it would have been a good idea bringing your earbuds with you.
It would have,
Go ahead.
but I didn't because it's not a good idea. So
Jeez.
Nick and I had an interesting experience at the Samsung booth at CES this year.
Did we?
Yeah, we did, because twice we tried to talk to somebody,
Oh, yeah.
anybody there, but we're not VIP enough.
Apparently Todd wasn't
Uh,
either, so
Yeah.
Wow.
enjoy
So,
that.
so they kind of gave us the short end of the stick, which is no pun intended, because this is a stylus topic.
And it hurt.
But but one thing that we did see before we get into the Galaxy Note, in the corner of inside the wall of a Samsung booth, like in a little hallway off to the side, as you were walking past, they had a couple different products on display. Well, at the very end of that, cleverly hidden and guarded by some blonde girl, was
That doesn't sound well
the
guarded.
Samsung SUR40, which
Sexy
we
thing.
talked a little bit about on the show a couple weeks back. That's the Microsoft Surface 2.0 table that they're making. So we got to play Turret Defense on that and messed around with
Was
it for a
fun.
while.
I heard
and
Turret
that was all that
Defense.
we ever heard on that. It's there because I guess contractually they had to have it there for some reason.
It was next to a washer and dryer
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know.
and a fridge.
Behind,
place.
And it was roped off, so we got to play with it like from behind the rope.
Yeah, we were allowed
Sticking
to touch
our
it.
hands out, bending over, like touching it. But we got the girl to feel it up with us, so
It was good.
that was
Nice.
good.
I was satisfied.
That was yeah, we had like 20 fingers going on there,
It was great.
30 at one point.
Okay.
Handled it all very well.
6 whole fists.
So, stylus is
So-
what we're talking about.
yeah.
So there was an interesting Galaxy product there that is like a crossbreed, I guess, between tablets and phones, because Samsung said it was like a niche device, which was interesting. However, the other interesting part of it was it uses a stylus that they call the S Pen.
Okay.
S Pen.
So
S pen, not pin. That makes more sense. Continue.
So we haven't seen, like we know that there's Styli for the iPad that people have developed, but nothing Apple's done officially. I don't really know of any other official stylus for a device than this Samsung Note. For the Samsung Note.
I don't either.
Can you guys think of
No.
anything?
Nope.
Okay. Just
Not
want to
at all.
make sure. So
I've got a Toshiba in the other room, but it's like 18
it's like
years
18
old.
years old, so it's
It's legal.
yeah. That was back in the days of like
That's her name.
resistive touchscreens.
Indeed.
So the interesting thing about it is not that they're just bringing the stylus back, which kind of raised some bittersweet memories. I guess anybody who's been around long enough, maybe over the age of probably 20, may have had experience with using a stylus on like the Windows Mobile smartphones and the Trios and all that kind of stuff back in the day. Well,
Yeah, the DS Lite. Right?
well, the problem with it was
the DS
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
in general.
that's right.
Yeah, that's the only stylus
There you go.
play I've had.
There. We lied.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's one obvious one that we all
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to jump into it because it
Because
was so obvious.
I think there are 2 of them here right now.
Yes, there are.
So we all remember, losing them consistently, and then after a while, they wouldn't stay in their holder in the device. They would get loose and they would fall out all the time. However, it was always nice because you had sort of an excuse to beat the device.
The Touch Pro 2 has a stylus.
Does it?
Does it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Isn't that like 2.5 years
I was
old?
gonna say that's a
Well-
little old, isn't it?
Yes.
Wasn't it a Windows Mobile phone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then that's not really qualified
Indeed.
in my.
The
in my
Arrive
mind.
doesn't have one?
No,
Okay.
it just has a physical keyboard, which is why it's so
Right.
thick.
It's capacitive.
Yeah. So, at least when styluses were the thing and the device didn't do what you wanted it to, you could tap it a little bit harder than normal, and it was kind of therapeutic.
It was.
So I do
That
miss
was great.
I do miss that aspect of it, but Samsung's bringing it back. I guess for a variety of reasons. One is because it gives you another method that delivers tactile feedback, and also is an input on the device that's not the keyboard. So it gives you some options there. And, realistically, most people that go to school learn how to write with a pencil. So the form factor is something that we're all kind of familiar with anyway.
True.
And for anyone who's ever tried to make a drawing, a sketch, or convey an idea via not text on a smartphone or tablet with their hands, when you draw it, it looks like you have Parkinson's, no matter how good your motor control is.
Agreed.
So there are certain things you can definitely do better with a stylus. Like take a look at the Cintiq
Yes.
with Wacom.
Yeah.
Try doing that with a stylus. I dare you.
Oh, there's another good example.
You'll get a carpal
Oh
tunnel.
yeah.
You'll get
Your
carpal tunnel.
picture and Michael J. Fox's picture look the same.
I was
One's
waiting for it. I knew it
Across
was
the
coming.
board.
I knew it was coming.
I'm sorry, Michael J. You're
It's
cool.
identical.
You're a cool guy.
Abram says, pen good, finger bad.
It's true though when you have such a small screen. Is it like with the Vita or something like that, or with the DS, and you use your finger to touch something like that, you take up most of the screen. You can't see what you're supposed to play in the first place.
Yep, we had
That's
this
kinda
conversation
frustrating.
the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did.
Mm-hmm.
With a stylus, you at least have a little bit of distance between your hand and the device.
And you have a very defined
Point.
thing you're touching.
Yeah, you have
Right.
a point. To
It's
hit the screen.
helpful for mobile gaming or things like that.
Yeah.
Or you can always use a sausage if you have a capacitive screen.
Well, it's true.
We've talked about this. The sausage pen.
Yes. It makes for a good stylus.
So one last potentially cool thing about it that we don't have a lot of information on, unfortunately, is that Samsung also kind of mentioned they were going to try to include this, the S Pen functionality across different size screens,
Okay.
which is pretty cool. But they're also going to be adding in 3D gestures.
Mm.
We don't know a whole lot about that. My speculation is that you actually lay the phone down on a flat surface and draw in the air above the phone, and the camera captures your movements within a XYZ coordinate plane and maps it out on the phone.
Connect style. Okay.
That's probably not what it is. I'm just,
Yeah, probably not.
but I mean, it sounds kind of interesting.
It sounds cool, and that's what's
I mean,
important.
it's like taking
only
advanced
thing that matters.
advanced gestures
Indeed.
into like 3D land or something. I don't know.
Well, you kind of need to patent that. Do it. Right
Already
now.
did.
No, it's done.
Oh,
On air, we mentioned it
okay.
before
Done.
anybody else.
That is not a patent.
No, it's not. say the patent. Say it.
It can be anything I want it to be. Oh, look at that.
I
We'll be
declare
talking about that next.
bankruptcy.
Can't just say it. I didn't say it. I declared it.
So anyway, that's all we have on that. But
All right.
kind of cool. The stylus might be making a comeback in a big way. What do you guys think? Will we see any other manufacturers trying to do something similar?
Well, Avram does bring up an interesting point in the chat. He said that if it's an active stylus, it's also pressure sensitive. So
Ooh.
in addition to, the fine point, it also has the ability, if it's active, to be pressure sensitive.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's
So,
what they do on
like the Wacom.
on the
Exactly.
Cintiq. Like the harder you press, the darker the shade
Exactly.
Yeah.
of the color, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So,
And the direction that you press reflects the angle of the right.
so with that, yes, there might be some more. You might see some more products come out because it does add a whole lot of feature and functionality.
Yeah, and seeing
Yeah,
it on
agreed.
something like a 40-inch surface makes a lot of sense. You see it over in the broadcasting with ESPN now with their big surface screen that they use from the Samsung screen, that they're using it, and they're using a stylus to get better
Interesting.
sensitivity off of it. So, and it comes up like the little teleprompter where John Madden goes, boom, that kind of thing. So that's more accurate than using your finger to do the same thing. So whatever.
Oh man.
ThinkPad tablet has it too. So
Hey.
Avram's chiming in here.
There we go.
So we might as well kick it over to him. I think it's that time. It feels good when we do this.
But not kick him.
No, don't kick it.
Don't kick him.
I can't kick him.
You go.
And now it's time for the Pilch Point. Probably powered by the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Take it over to Nick.
Or to Avram.
To Avram, it's his thing.
Oops.
Avram, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you guys doing?
Woo! Better now that I have you and the music on the show.
Awesome. Both me and the music. I did not headbang this time for fear of disconnecting the microphone like last time.
Is your skull on fire?
My soul is on fire.
Nice. Even better.
Are those headphones that bad?
No. My headbanging is that.
Nice.
Avram, since Alante didn't tell him, let him know who you are.
I am the online editorial director of Laptop Magazine.
Director.
And of course, we cover all kinds of mobile technology. You can check out our site at laptopmag.com or my weekly Geeks Geek column at laptopmag.com/geeksgeek, and follow me on Twitter at Geek in Chief.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. So, of course, we haven't talked about Apple news in quite some time. CES kind of takes over, and discussing Apple during CES is, I don't know, so last Macworld. Wait, that just happened. So,
Sacrilege.
yeah, it's sacrilege. So, Avram, Apple news. You have a lot going on this week that some of it we didn't even hear about. So let's jump right into it. What do you got this week?
Well, this week Apple announced their quarterly earnings, which, for those of us who aren't investors in Apple, can be kind of boring until you look at how staggering the numbers are, which means how many people were, how shall we say, taken in by Apple marketing to buy Apple products. $13 billion of profit in the last quarter, $13.87 per share. They sold 377,000 iPhones every day, more than the number of babies born every day worldwide. Their sales are out of control. They have $97.6 billion of cash on hand.
Wow.
So obviously this was a huge quarter for them, but in stark contrast to that, the New York Times came out with an article a few days ago pointing out that Apple continues to have very serious health and safety violations in the plants, in their suppliers' plants. Apple doesn't actually operate its own plants to build your iPad and iPhones, but places like Foxconn, which have become notorious, think the situation actually continues to get worse, and people are starting to really put the blame on Apple when you see that they're making all this money and there are people in China dying or getting sick from making iPads and iPhones.
Yeah, we might have discussed that a little bit on the show several times, in fact. But to put the money thing into perspective, too, think about it this way. Apple made in a quarter what Walmart made all of last year.
Yeah,
it's pretty staggering.
It is. They have enough money right now to. Let's see. They made more money They took in more revenue last quarter than Warren Buffett took in last year. Although that's not much to say. They sold more iPads than HP sold computers for the quarter. if you took all of their cash and stacked the dollar bills next to each other, you'd have a stack 67.9 miles high.
Wow.
They could pay for an entire year of every student's loan in the United States with the amount of cash that they have.
Looks like I'm sending an email. After this show.
We're actually sitting here watching a list of all the things that Apple could have done.
I found this link last night, and it's absolutely fantastic.
One of them was
great.
give 2 apple-scented candles to everybody on the planet.
And we're at 7 billion right now.
The amount needed to make 4 large hadron colliders.
2 Microsofts.
But they obviously they're looking to make a lot more than that as they look to break into new markets like education. Obviously we also saw in the last couple of weeks Apple getting into the textbook business in a big way, announcing the launch of iBooks 2, which is their iBook, electronic textbook for education initiative. And what they're doing is they're partnering with people like Houghton Mifflin, the big textbook makers, to make electronic versions of their textbooks that are licensable for 1 year for K through 12. So what schools will have to do, or students will have to do, every student in the class that takes this on will have to have an iPad, and they will have to pay $15 for the textbook for the year. Now that's inexpensive in comparison to a lot of textbook costs, because sometimes a textbook for a science class might cost $70, and you're paying $15, but that's $15 that's a license for only 1 school year. So if your school could buy a textbook and keep it for 5-10 years, now they've got to rebuy it for every student in the class every year.
Wow.
And pay that money to Apple.
Yeah, that's
Sick.
not acceptable.
Wow.
I don't like that.
And you look at the IT implications of having a school where everyone has to own an iPad, right? Because if it's a requirement to own an iPad, does that mean that every student in the school is going to have their parent pony up at least $500 for the iPad, or is the school going to have school-owned iPads? And how are schools across the United States that don't have enough money to hire teachers going to spend $500 for an iPad? And I think that's kind of a serious problem, and you will not be able to use these books on any platform but Apple's. They're not using open EPUB standards. They're only usable on Apple products. So
wait,
not
Apple's not using a standard?
No.
That can't be
Yeah.
right.
Blasphemy.
Can't be.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it? I mean, who would have thunk it? Apple always follows its own standards, whether it comes to someone's health and safety or to their iBooks.
Oh,
They're on top of it.
now Avram, last time they went and checked the facilities at Foxconn, they discovered that several people weren't taking their breaks like they should, and they were working a couple hours too long, but everything else was good. The suicides, the jumping off the building.
It's
and
all
the-
fine.
And
that's all.
the explosions were just rumors.
Yeah, like the people at the Wintech factory, which, this problem isn't just Foxconn. Foxconn is, for the benefit of viewers, listeners who don't know, is, obviously the biggest manufacturer of systems, not only for Apple, but for a lot of other companies you've heard of, like Dell and HP. But still, they're just really the tip of the iceberg. For example, in the New York Times article this week, we heard about Wintech, which is another big manufacturer, where last year they found that in cleaning the iPhone screens for Apple, using regular isopropyl alcohol didn't dry fast enough. So they made all the workers use something called N-hexane, which is pretty toxic and poisonous. The workers were pretty much poisoned by this quicker drying solution, and Apple was kind of shamed into telling Wintech to stop. But they only did it after there was a public outcry of people getting sick, and then they didn't take care of the workers who had basically been put out of work until somebody else, until people raised a hue and cry that Apple wasn't living up to that commitment. So, obviously Apple's not the only company here, but because they're so successful and they've made so much money off of using cheap foreign labor, they're sort of fast becoming the poster child for sort of foreign
Bad.
labor abuses.
They're like the companies in the 1940s, man, using children for labor,
Sweatshops,
and
yeah.
you know they're barely getting paid anything, barely taking breaks, dying.
And then signing a waiver that says if you die, your family will be sued because you died.
Right.
Like, what?
It's awful, man.
But it's okay because everyone's drank the freaking Kool-Aid, and it's okay as long as their iPad just works. And that's the end of the goal, right? That's the at the end of the day.
And the screen is dry.
Right. The Apple products just work, so it does at any cost, even
Well,
cheap
that's what
cost.
That's what killed me in the article. They interviewed an unnamed Apple executive who said it's not a priority to us to fix factory safety. All of our customers are only interested in having a new iPhone every year and getting it cheap. They don't care about safety. They don't care about some workers in
Wow.
China.
Yeah. Sitting here thinking about the
Yeah.
average Apple customer.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that sounds about right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
It is true, and it is kind of a sad reality of our times. But you know, I think that there is precedent for companies to be a little bit more responsible. For example, you know, we've heard that other companies like to allow third-party inspectors into their factories, and Apple does not. So they're doing their own inspections, but there's nobody there to actually audit what they're doing and saying.
Right.
And also, you've seen that in other circumstances, like the shoe industry, where you know negative publicity shamed companies like Nike. So you know, I think that there's a possibility here for this story blowing up to kind of make a difference. And I wouldn't expect people that in China to start getting paid minimum wage like we do here, but you know, maybe there'll be some safety inspections. Maybe there'll be some voluntary industry standards. Personally, I would like to see something like EPEAT, the environmental standard that companies voluntarily opt into, done for worker safety.
What's it going to take, though? I mean, we reported Foxconn having not only paid off the inspection commission, but then they also had, 45 suicides in 1 week, John? It was ridiculous. It was something crazy.
No, they had about 12.
It was 12.
It was about 12
Was
or
it 45
so
over
one
the
week.
month?
Yeah, it was 45 over a certain period of time, which wasn't very long. I think it was like 3 months or something
That's
like that.
still a little bit too much, if you ask me.
That's
I mean,
people dying.
at
People
what
kill themselves.
at what cost do you take? The minute someone reports that McDonald's is using beef trimmings in some of their products, everyone's all up in arms. But that's not okay because you're paying $1 for that burger. But that $600 iPad better stay at $600. And it's okay that these things are happening to these people, and they're people.
Because
Regardless of
it's-
the Chinamen, they're people.
Because it's not here.
Doesn't matter, right? Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
You don't see the pork trimmings and the beef trimmings. It should be fine.
Right.
But no.
These aren't your children. These
it's
aren't
fine.
my friends' children. These aren't my family's children. You know, it's somewhere off across the water.
What's it going to take, Abram?
I think it's going to take people reading Laptop Magazine and listening to F5 Live.
Boom.
Yes.
Boom.
That
You
Bottom
throw
line.
that plug, Abram.
public attention and listening to people talk about it.
But they
That's
drink
what's
the
going to-
Kool-Aid. I mean, we walk inside, and John has done this multiple times to the point where his face is posted in the back of every Apple store in the closest 165 miles. The people, you walk in there, and John has told these people, well, this phone's better, or this device is better, and not trying to be like an ass about it. He was just saying, well, this is the reason why it's superior. Oh, you can't do that on this device? You can on this device. And he gets kicked out. And people don't want to listen to it. So he goes outside.
He got kicked out of an Apple store for having a Palm Pre in his hand.
He goes outside. Yeah.
Well, my friend's iPhone broke. This was a while back. So, and he didn't have a car back then. And so I offered to take him to the Apple store because I thought, oh, this should be fun. So we go to the Apple store up to the Genius Bar with massive sarcasm quotes. And they're fixing his phone also with massive sarcasm quotes. So I took my Palm Pre out and I laid it on the table. And there were people around. It's pretty crowded. And I was just like, oh, look at that. I have like 6 things running at one time. And they're all updating continuously. And look how easy it is to switch from the cards. Oh, what's that? That's the ribbon that pops out from underneath. That's
It's a multitask. What a
oh, that's like
concept.
magic. How did I switch to that app so easily?
But these type of things, I guess the nanobots inside the Apple store, they're always packed. It's because of the Kool-Aid and the nanobots that they pump into the air.
Oh yeah, that's
We'll explain that theory
Yeah.
to you another time,
Yeah.
Abram.
Yeah.
Abram, good talking to you, man. Next week we're off. It's Super Bowl time. My Giants are playing against the awful, evil Google and Apple like Patriots.
it's like
I'll be watching too.
Oh,
and
my
we'll be
goodness.
doing that, of course. I'm sorry, the big game. I
Yes,
apologize.
we're not sponsoring it. We're not allowed to say it.
But everyone seems to know it's like the iPad release. So, Abram, good talking to you. We'll see you in 2 weeks on the 12th. And we got to get you down here
Great.
soon to be in the studio. We definitely got to do that.
Definitely.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it. Everyone clap at Abram.
Great.
Take it easy, man.
see you later.
Talk to you soon. Always a pleasure.
I love having him on.
I know.
It's refreshing.
He's insightful.
Very refreshing.
Is that why we renamed the show?
Just because of him.
Yeah, it's all him.
All right, moving right along. We got real news to talk about. Not saying his wasn't, but we got more. This week's
But his was Apple, so.
this week's Extra Life section on F5 Live, 3 times in a row. It's proudly powered by Shockwave.
Oh, my God.
I like that we all waited to hear what she was going to do.
And it was just a shockwave.
She was like, shh.
Shockwave.
1, 2, 3.
Shockwave.
Play games.
Like Lost Identity.
Like, do you share a birthday with a child in need?
Daily dip.
That's not a game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a game that appears to have a president.
Plants vs. Zombies.
Hooray.
Oh.
Now
Yay.
available online. Battle Zombies now. And of course, Monkey Quest and the other top 10 2011 online games available for you at f5live.tv. Click in the link.
Yeah, we
In
can't
the
hear that.
center.
That's monkey for him.
I heard it.
What's funny is right now they can hear her.
They
The people
can.
who are
Yeah,
listening
they
live,
can.
they can hear her better than ever before.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I like how she got silent then. They can hear me.
We're
So,
always watching.
So in gaming news this week, we've got
Speaking of Peach,
Nintendo trying to make a comeback and doing a pretty successful job of it
Oddly
with the 3DS. Their sales are
skyrocketing.
indeed. They're in the 4 million range now, which is more than original DS's.
And it looks
Yeah.
like from week, trying to get the weeks here, just in a couple of weeks, sales shot up 2 million units.
Yeah.
Which is excellent.
Just before our break, before CES, we talked about them breaking about 3 million.
Right.
So yeah, they've been on the rise ever since.
Yeah. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that there are the awaited titles
Yes.
out.
Right. The titles like, Mario Kart, you've got the Super Mario Land that came out for it, and there's still a couple titles that come out that people are excited for, like the Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh yeah.
And then the Resident Evil Revelations that's coming out for it. So
It was important to get a Mario,
yes,
a Mario Kart, and a
Yes.
Zelda title
Yes.
on the platform now.
that's what was needed. A lot of people didn't buy it for that simple fact that
Right.
those titles were not out at launch when they probably should have.
And Nintendo at E3 tried to pull away from those titles, and not really pull away from, but go, you know what? We have other titles too.
Right.
But at the end of the day, guess what? You're still playing. You're still playing Mario.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the cartridge that's in mine right now? Mario Kart.
Same here.
And upstairs on my girlfriend's, it's Zelda.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're playing those games. You'll buy the other ones too, but as long as there's a Mario title, if there's not, you're not buying any games.
And that's exactly what happened here. And I think Nintendo has finally bought into that reality
Yes.
because we saw this week that there will be a side-scroller.
Yes.
Side-scrolling Mario coming out, which is exciting. The new Super Mario Brothers that came out on the DS was excellent. It was incredible. And so if they repeat that process with the 3DS, let's say New Super Mario Brothers 3DS or 3D, excuse me, New Super Mario Brothers 3D, I call it. I know it'll be great. I know it will. So that's exciting that they have announced that coming out. Now I just need a
Right.
Kirby game and a Yoshi game.
Thank you.
Now, keeping
Yeah.
in mind,
Oh my gosh, I was literally just about to say I am so disappointed that we haven't heard anything about Kirby.
now let's
Yeah.
talk about Kirby for a second. Yarn
No!
isn't the way to go.
Right.
You don't
He
want to
ju-
talk about Kirby for a
Oh,
second?
Well,
sorry.
Not Yarn. Yarn is an unholy name in
It
this.
doesn't exist.
Yes. No.
There's
Return-
there's only one Hulk movie, and there is no Kirby yarn.
Return to Dreamland was their only game since Nightmare in Dreamland on a console. Besides the DS where they came out with the Squeak Squad and all that. So they definitely they should make a Squeak Squad game. You know, even if they made that for the 3DS, that would be amazing. But preferably they should come out with some type of Dreamland game on the 3DS because I love
One that
Dreamland.
kills the Yarn Kirby.
And one
Oh
where
yeah,
one,
where they actually kill the yarn Kirby.
yeah,
That's
oh
a
yeah.
win.
That
Cody
Yarn,
can eat it.
Yarn Kirby is a boss. Is the last boss. Yes.
There you go.
Yarn
Oh,
Kirby's
yeah.
the last boss.
Done.
I like that. I like forget Meta Knight, forget DDD.
Copyright.
You know, Meta Knight
left.
and DDD they work with you to kill Yarn Kirby.
We'll ask for $4 million from Nintendo. They won't know if it's a lot
was
of
so
money.
obnoxious.
He
Meta
is
Knight was cool.
Yeah, Meta Knight was awesome.
DDD
So,
is obnoxious.
I'd like to point out that in the chat room there was a comment that says, "Yes, the only reason I still have a Wii is because they keep putting out Zelda games."
Yep.
Nice.
Isn't that the
Skyward
truth, though?
Sword, amazing, absolute amazing.
It made a
Wasn't-
couple of my friends dust off the Wii just to get
just
that
to play
game.
it. I
Nice.
agree.
Took it right out.
So, the takeaway here is that Nintendo is starting to see success
Yes.
with the 3DS, which goes to show that there is still room in the market for a dedicated gaming console.
Yes, it's. I'm actually excited to see that it's doing well because the better that the console does, the more that the third party companies will come in and make the good games, which will make the
Yeah.
console sell more, which will make them make more good games. It's
Right.
it's a symbiotic
Yeah.
relationship.
Aside, go ahead.
I'm interested to see how the quickly rising sales of the 3DS over the past several months will affect Vita sales, which it's not even going to come out until February 22nd.
You know,
I got to touch one and almost steal
they
one
exist, yeah.
at CES.
I got a picture
Nick,
of one.
Nick,
You'll never get one though.
Nick just looked at me and he said, "Don't ask the guy if you can take it. He'll say no." So I did the Jedi mind trick thing, but he just
Didn't
looked
work.
he looked at me like I was
Yeah.
an idiot.
I think
the
it
Jedi
has,
blocked it.
I think
That's
it
what
has
did.
everything to do with the delayed release of the Vita. I think it has everything to do with the fact that the Vita is not going to have any mobile games, and we'll get into that in the post plug. If you want to listen to that, we'll maybe talk about it when we come back in a couple of weeks because we're running low on time here. And I think it has to do with the fact that they weren't going to drop the price from $249. You're paying $249 for that guy. Nintendo dropped the price to a really nice sweet spot.
Yeah.
And I was killing it in
Really
volume.
good sweet spot.
2 weeks did 1 million units.
Right.
I was looking up those numbers. 2 weeks did 1 million units at the same time that the Vita was at CES and really didn't have anything new other than NBA 2K whatever and Drake. And if you don't like either of those games, you're not buying the Vita, period.
Right.
Unfortunately. And it sucks. So we'll have to get into more of that in the post plug. Right now, we have other news about another company that may not be failing. What a concept.
That can't be right.
This week's DRM not included on F5 Live, proudly powered by SiriusXM Satellite Radio.
You will no longer be sad when you get one of these bad boys in your vehicle. I'll tell you what, save up to 50% right now on some great radios. They've got some new releases of the radios that are coming out. And right now, you can enjoy free shipping. What? Say what?
On
Say it
orders
again.
of $49.99 or more?
Exactly.
Ah.
So shop now here. Sirius XM Radio, best radio on radio besides F5 Live. Click on the link.
In the center. You got to give the website.
Oh, sorry. If you if
You were so ready. You were like, I got this promo
I did have
nailed.
it, man. I had it.
Find what you need, all radios, accessories, and support available to new and existing subscribers by going to f5live.tv, clicking the link.
In the center.
Jeez, man.
That's sad.
I have to save that for the 420 episode.
Cheese man.
Cheese,
He's a
man.
cheese man.
Similar to the fish food.
Ah.
As a side note, everybody should go to the CES coverage on f5live.tv and check out me talking to the guys at SiriusXM about the new links.
Yes.
Yes, I was just going to suggest that.
It's not a head unit anymore. It's an everywhere unit because it goes everywhere
Boom.
you go.
And
I liked that tag.
And they're shifting from satellite to internet. Yes.
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 They're making a big.
This is the first unit that will include internet radio as well as a satellite radio.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So go check that out. But moving on, we've got some Netflix news. Turns out that Netflix isn't quite in the trouble that we thought it was going to be in after they made all of their silly business decisions. We remember back a few months, Netflix decided, DVDs, it's going to be its own thing. Quickster. Can't believe I still remember that name. I want one of the envelopes.
Me too.
So they were going to spin that off and make it Quickster. You were going to have to maintain two separate
accounts.
two separate queues on two separate websites and
Pay for two separate services.
what a big pain. So there were a lot of reports. A lot of people got mad. And then we saw what appeared to be a lot of people leaving.
At least the loud ones, the 39,000 on Facebook that decided to comment that all threatened to leave but probably didn't.
Probably
Nah,
not.
they didn't.
The number that we kept hearing was somewhere in the 800,000 subscriber range. Turns
Yes.
out that has been grossly exaggerated.
Now, why is that? Because the earnings came out, and we
insanity.
saw what numbers actually add up to.
Exactly. Turns out it was only about 405,000 domestic paid subscribers. And that number includes people who had never given them any money, but are considered paid subscribers because they signed up for the 14-day or 30-day trial, got a couple of DVDs, or started streaming and went, you know what, I don't like TV this much, and stopped.
Watching
there are
instantly
those
just
people.
isn't for me. I'd much rather have physical media.
Here's the crazy
Go
thing,
to the
though.
closest Blockbuster, which is probably in DC from here.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it was the 800,000, it still only represented a 3.4% decrease in paid
Give or take.
subscribers.
Yeah,
So,
this works out to 1.7.
yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For Netflix, that's it. I mean, people got so mad, and that's what made it look worse than what it was. And the CEO backed down, and instead of fixing it, just reverted back to what it was.
Ish.
To a degree.
Now here's the thing. Revenue per paid subscriber is up almost 12%.
First time paid subscriber went up since 2009.
Yes, exactly. So turns out this was a pretty good quarter for Netflix.
Profits up both quarters from quarter 2 to quarter 4 in 2011. Profits went up and then up again.
Yes,
10
10
and
and
15,
15.
yeah.
That's So
They're fine.
not quite the problem that some of the media would have had you believe.
It's the same problem that people complained about when Circuit City went out of business. They said, "Oh, they're being mischievous and deceiving with their pricing structure and da-da-da-da-da-da." Just something to get people riled up, and nothing happened from it. Reed Hastings balked, and that's his fault because I still use Netflix, and we talked about it on the show. All I did was revert to streaming only because I wasn't using DVDs anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
The interesting thing to follow from here will be their deal with I can't remember if it's MGM or Miramax. One of their deals with them is about to run up, and with Warner Brothers, we're looking at about a 56-day delay for content, and content for all other studios will be kind of varied, but they'll be staggered.
That's going to be the killer.
So how are they going to fill in the gap with the media there? Now I think I heard something about Disney movies for kids content and something else. And it bothers me because I can't remember what it was now. But it'll be interesting to see how they handle that. Maybe if they can maintain that revenue per subscriber.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this delayed release time. It's going to get longer and longer by the looks of it, and that might not be the best thing for them. I don't know. Do people have both Hulu and Netflix? Do you
I was going
have...
to say, it did not end up hurting Hulu all that much when Fox went to an 8-day instead of a 1-day.
Because, again, it's the media going nuts over this cord-cutting thing, and it's not really happening yet.
Right.
Some people are, there's a 20% decrease, but think of how many people are that who are elderly who decided that they can't afford it because they're on Social Security, and they went back to the antenna, which you get, in this area, you get 40 some odd channels in a good area. So I still have cable, and I have a Hulu account, and I have Netflix. I think you guys are in the same boat pretty much across the board.
Minus Hulu.
Minus Hulu, and
Yeah.
but you're still
Carlos
using.
Carlos got both.
You got
Yeah.
both as
I
well.
u- I
plus
used to-
cable or satellite, whatever you're using.
I used to have both, but
We're not cutting
Well-
the cord yet because we haven't found that lapse in time yet. That has affected me, at least with Fox. That has affected me with Hulu or with Netflix. I'm not at that point
Well,
yet.
I think most.
Boop, boop, boop.
Thank you. I think one of the reasons why a lot of people that have all three, cable, Hulu, Netflix, for me, the way that Bright House packages things, it's literally I'm paying for internet. It's like $5 extra
Right.
a month
Right.
to have cable.
And you're not using the phone, so you don't
Yeah.
have the phone package.
So
Yeah,
I mean, I pay the extra $5 a month to have cable. I
To
guess.
watch Adult Swim when you have
Yeah.
that
yeah.
craving.
So I mean, that, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have cable.
Final comment, Alante, being the Netflix-only subscriber,
Yeah.
the delay in releases of content, will it detract you from the current value of Netflix?
Not really. I mean, I use it occasionally, and then when I do get on, I see something. Ooh, this is nice. I haven't watched this in a while, or hey, I haven't watched this yet, because I heard it sucked or something, or I'm watching it at work.
You're not waiting that Blockbuster 30 days after movies. I got it on DVD.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a concern to you.
No,
And it
not at
probably
all.
isn't for most people. They're going to go download it anyway.
Yeah. So I mean,
Just saying.
for the
Indeed.
general,
Just saying.
Either legally or not.
Yeah,
Right.
they're going to get it in a different way with a
Yes.
different service, maybe using Amazon Prime, whatever the case may be.
iTunes, Zoom.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
out there. Until there's a concise company that does all of it, the TV, the movies, and the instant download on demand, like Bright House or your cable company, you're not switching. You're not cord cutting.
Exactly.
That's our show.
It is.
Stay
did
tuned
it.
for the post plug. We're going live with that thing after the show for 10 minutes, so stay tuned in the chat room that you're in, f5live.tv/join us. I know it's having problems, though. We'll take a look into that.
maybe.
Big game next week. We're not here. So
We'll be
here,
there.
We'll be here the following week.
Oh, you mean the Super game?
The Super game. The Super Cup.
That's like a repeat of 07, right?
Thank you, John.
So you're
No
gonna
kidding.
You're gonna have to try to stab me in the face with a fork.
That did happen.
That did happen.
Wow.
We'll talk about that in the post book, too. So, Facebook, iTunes, Zune, F5Live.tv, any other cornucopious amount of streaming providers that are available to you, including TPN.tv. Thank you, John. Because
wrong with this person?
he keeps making me mention Ustream, but we're available in more than just Ustream.
No, it wasn't Ustream that he was trying
Oh, it was
to.
TalkShoe.
Nope.
What was it?
Tune in.
Oh, TuneIn. That's right.
There we go.
But we're available on more than just TuneIn, so we got to do that. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good holiday. Go Giants. The Mega Cup.
So the Mega Cup is a holiday.
Yeah, Mega Cup's a holiday.
All right.
That's how that works. It's Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mega Cup. Love it. So on behalf of the staff that's not here, I'm Nick.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
I think I'm Alante.
That's our show. We'll see you guys next week. Peace and chicken grease.
Go with honor, friend.
Sayonara.
Mega Cup.